Well, good day and welcome back. And as you can see behind me, we have a new Canopy, but don't we already have a Canopy on the 75? That's right, but we don't have a Canopy on the Hilux, although I'm not sure whether I want to put one on. I kind of want to keep that as a beach cruiser, keep the tub. I like how it looks at the moment. Why would I go ahead and buy this Canopy? First, let me show you a bit more about it. So I picked this one off Facebook Marketplace for $400. It is 1 meter by 1770. It's a pretty small canopy, and that's what we wanted. As you can see on this side, there's a little bit of damage with the aluminium. Hopefully, I can get on the inside and hit that out. The door still opens and closes. You kind of just got to apply a bit more force. But for a cheap canopy and a bit of Raptor coat to cover it all up, it should come out pretty nice. So on this side, the door actually has no struts, and that's because one of the brackets, it's just a right angle bracket that holds one of the struts, is actually snapped off the weld. So that's something that I've got to fix, but at the moment, I trust a little bit of wood. So what is the goal with this canopy? Because I've already got one, I don't really need it. But let me tell you something about Facebook Marketplace bargains. You just got to get them when they come up. The plan for this canopy is pretty simple. As you can see inside, we've already got a top shelf. Now some of the brackets where it's been welded on to support it has already snapped off. So I'm working out whether I keep the whole shelf or whether I cut half of it. Now it is Raptor coated black, and the other day when I unloaded it, it was a hot day, and as soon as I opened up inside, it was boiling. So first things first, we're going to insulate the whole canopy to keep the temperature inside cool. Insulate it, we're going to do carpet, we're going to do a whole bunch of lights. So I think we're going to do LED strip lights on each door, some in the center. We'll do rear lights as well, maybe even a little light bar for when we're camping, kind of, you know, light up the tray, if this goes on the tray, who knows. We'll do a false floor on the passenger side. That's where we're going to have the fridge. We'll have full 12 volt, not really sure what's going to go in there yet. And then on the driver's side, hopefully I'm going to make some custom drawer, maybe even a slide out table. We all know that canopy builds change as soon as we got started. So what I'm saying now versus the end of this video might look completely different. Up top, there's actually some tie down points that I've put in, but on each corner, the thread goes down. Now, obviously I want to put some insulation and then carpet this whole thing. And to do that, I need to cut off these threads. So I'll grab a grinder and we'll cut those off. Now I'm going to work on the floor. I'm going to put in the subfloor, get all that bolted down. I'm actually going to do insulation on the floor as well. Look, it's probably overkill, but I got heaps of insulation, so I thought may as well use it. Hopefully, before it gets too dark on me, I can do insulation on the floor and insulation on the roof. Fingers crossed. We are going to put down the timber flooring. So basically, this is just like a little subfloor. With it came with this actually, the timbers that were ripped. Now they had these bolted down with roofing screws through this canopy floor and then into the tray. Now we don't want to do that because obviously we want to be able to take off this canopy and put it on potentially a few different cars. So I'm going to use the 2 end roofing screws and screw them through, but then I'm also going to use liquid nails to put them in. Once we put the plywood on, I'm going to make sure everything's so tight, nothing is going to move, and we'll be able to pop over and do a whole bunch of right angle brackets to make sure that it is sturdy. So, you know, if it was KP or corrugation, we want this canopy to be able to last. I'm gonna put on some insulation on the floor. Now, this is just foil board. This stuff's pretty thin, and it's only because I've got leftover. If I was gonna go out and buy some more, I think it's about $30, $40 for a big sheet of these. And I'd go the 20 mil because I've got room. For the floor, I'm only gonna go the 10 mil, and there's another reason, not just because I've got it at home, but also I wanna leave a little bit of a channel so I can run a whole bunch of wires underneath. If I can run my wires under there, it means that I don't have to worry about creating, you know, sub walls or anything like that to hide the cabling. If I can put them down, run them along the floor, it'll just look a whole lot neater for the end result. Everybody thinks that the foil boards go green out so you can see the green, and then basically the silver to the sun, let's say, or resisting the heat, but it's actually the other way around. For us, you know, some people like go the green because you can see it and it looks cool, apparently, but we're gonna put carpet over the top and make it look professional, so we're gonna do it the right way. Now I'm going to do the two big ones in the middle, and then the floor will be insulated. A great little tip is, because I did those circles with the glue, as soon as you push it down, when you rub it like this, it basically creates like an air pocket and a suction. So it really is going to make sure that your insulation isn't going anywhere. So it did come with a false floor. So right now I've just put in this side, I'm going to screw it in to the existing holes that it already has. And then we'll work out some measurements for our center wall. Okay, so off camera, I actually cut. This is our center wall that's going to be the back of where the fridge will go one side and the back of the drawers the other side. Now, you'll also see that I've cut in this hole. On the other side of this hole will be the battery, and I need something so I can pass wires through. So that's why I painted it black, because there's no need to carpet it, but you still want that if you see any of it to be nice, black and hidden, and also it protects it. So we've got the wall in, that's kind of what it'll look like. Now this top shelf here, which is all you know, flimsy, a couple of the welds are broken. I'm not gonna have this top shelf because it will actually interfere with my fridge. So I'm gonna cut it halfway. I wanna keep it for the other side. Otherwise you don't actually utilize the top space of your canopy. So I'm just getting a permanent marker and just marking the top of this shelf. Now that that's all marked, get rid of this wall, and we'll grind the top of this off. That side is all done. I've got this like little shelf that's still attached. There's a broken weld, but I'll be able to pot rivet it to the side, and the fridge is going to go right up here. I'm actually going to leave this here because if I have anything long that I want to store up high coming in from the drawer side, like any poles or anything, they'll be able to go and sit on this shelf. I've got this pinch weld, so I'm going to chuck this on the raw edge. On to the next thing. Now we can put in that center wall. We've got brackets. I picked these up from Bunnings. They weren't too much. I think they're only like a couple bucks for a pack of maybe 10. And then I'm just going to be using the wood screws. So along the bottom, wood screws. Along this inside, wood screws, because it's attaching to wood. On the other side, I'm actually going to pot rivet from the outside, because we'll do Raptor spray over it. You're not going to see the pot rivets, but that way we can just get a nice join. As you can see, we've got one in, so I'm gonna go ahead, do the rest of these bottom ones and the side wall, and then I'll show you once I'm done. So I think now I'm gonna go back to insulation. Let's get this wall insulated.
Then it was time to start cutting and making the walls for the drawers. Now, I made a few cuts and I also painted them. You need to make sure that you paint the plywood just to seal and protect it. And also, black looks a whole lot better and kind of hides any imperfections than leaving it plain.
So there's a couple of things that's going through my head right now that I need to work out before I start bolting any of this down. I want carpet on the top of this, and I think it's going to be easier to carpet before it's in here, otherwise I don't have much room to apply any pressure. Also, this outer edge I want black, so I think I've got to take it out, paint the edge black. I don't need to paint the whole thing purely because, as I said, I'm putting carpet on the top of it. I think I'm going to take this out, paint this edge, and then I'll carpet it, and then I can put it in and start to screw all this down, because once this is done, then we make the drawers to suit this width. We have painted. Now this is all done, this is all we need. And now we've got some carpet. This I bought the other day from Bunnings. I'm gonna put down all my contact onto here, and then I'm gonna flip this onto the carpet. Well, we've got the carpet on, so now it's time to start putting it all together. One thing that you'll notice as well is I've got a little bit of spillage from my glue to the front. Now, don't try to clean it up straight away. I'll let that dry, go off with a Stanley knife, and if it affects any of this black, I'll simply touch it up, so it's not a big deal. Main point though, is make sure that you wait until the glue is dry. Already, that is looking unreal. Well, I'm super stoked. I've got the structure in, and I tell you, it's looking good. I'm loving the idea of a couple of drawers, shelf here for chairs, table, another shelf, just making use of all the space. Meg, my lovely wife, came along and she said, why are you doing 2 drawers? They're so deep. Do 1 deep drawers for any like pots, pans, bigger items, and then on this side, or it doesn't matter what side, but do 2 drawers for small things. Otherwise, it's not the best use of space. So we've just changed from 2 drawers to 3 drawers. This side, we'll probably do 1 big one, and this side we might cut it in half or do like a cutlery drawer, but we'll do 2. So changing it up a little bit, but it's gonna work out nicely. I had a bit of a play with the drawers and the runners because it was my first time, so it took me, well, a couple of hours, which is probably, I'm ashamed to say. But basically, I've got the runners now at the right position, just for each left and right side of the drawer, so then I can work out what my floor is, and then I'll cut that floor. I'm going to glue that in, and then once the floor is in, I'll do my back. What I have had to allow for as well is I don't want the front of the drawers flush with this. I want it in. 1, for when I put the header on the drawer, but also 2, when I add carpet, I need to allow like 2 mil, because I want that carpet to be flush with these current edges. Let's see how this fits. It may not be the world's squarest drawer. Let's go and put this together. Oh, this is my first drawer that I've ever made. Let's put it in, and fingers crossed it still works, eh? Well, the drawer is looking good. I think that's where I'll probably end it for today, because I don't have enough ply for the front cover, and I definitely don't have enough ply for the other drawers. Also, I've got a little section cut here. That'll be the front. So tonight, probably off camera because it's pretty boring, I'll paint the inside, I'll get it carpeted, I'll paint this little bottom section as well, and then it'll be all prepped, ready to go for that front plate to be cut out. And then we also need to work out what sort of handles we're putting on this thing as well. We have come an absolute long way. I've got all the carpet on the drawer done. So as I open the drawer now, we've got the two sides and the floor. Now you'll notice that I haven't got the back of it done. I don't think I'm going to do that. One, I don't want to waste the carpet, but painting it black is sufficient. So this is the front panel. So I've painted the inside black, and then basically that panel will go in like that. I've gone to Dun & Watson and I purchased some handles to cut them. I've never done it before, so I'm not really sure. But so far, I've just made a bit of a jig. Now, it looks pretty rough. That's because it is, but fingers crossed it works. Look at this. We have a complete working drawer. Latch works. It's not coming out. One hand, boom, all the way out. That there is unreal. All I've got to do now is finish this side. Let's do a little bit of a B-roll, get this done, and I'll check back in. We have finished this side of the canopy, and I tell you what, for my first time making a couple of drawers, it's been unreal. It took a whole lot longer than I first thought, so time definitely blew way out, but I'm actually very happy with this end result. Let me just quickly walk you through. Obviously, you've already seen this side of the drawer opens up. This is a really deep one. You know, I can put camera tripod in here. Basically, you know, any cookers, heaps of stuff can fit in this. Very easy, one-hand operation. It's got a nice sound too when you close that door. Now over here, we've opted, originally you would have known at the start of the video, I was gonna do 2 of these drawers, but then my lovely wife said, hey, that's not really maximizing the space. So now we've gone to, this one here unfortunately is a 2-hand operation, lock-in slides, and then they come out. They're still a really deep size, so they'll easily fit like your canvas King's bags, or you know, everybody does canvas clear top bags these days, but it'll fit them quite easily. So this will be more of like your plates, cutlery, you know, first aid kit, things that you really need to get to straight away. Again, that closes. These ones here, another one on the bottom, same sort of thing. There's probably a couple of things that I would do differently, just in making sure that the whole unit is super square, and then a few of my measurements and cuts as well. But it was my first time, and I think honestly, it's pretty good. Really shows that anybody can do a DIY and get a very good result. You'll notice I put in the infill panels to the bottom. They don't remove, but these infill panels to the side, now they really finish off kind of the front look, but they are actually removable. You won't be able to tell, but I've put 2 finger holes, one at the top, one at the bottom, and then they're very, very tight. This panel here, you can see the finger hole there. This panel here can go. Now, this isn't gonna be one that you take off every day. You definitely don't wanna be storing your essentials in the side. But if you're on a long trip, you've got spare parts, let's say you've got like an air hose that you only get at the very start or beginning of a trip, there's heaps of room to chuck them down, you know, and store stuff left and right of the drawers. So it really is just making sure that we use, it's only a meter canopy and we want to use every bit well. I'm gonna get to finishing the installation. And you know what, today, just because I've got time, I might even chuck a light bar on the roof. Let's get to it. Now I am installing this little light bar. I think it's like 7-inch maybe. So when you're rocking up to camp and you're setting up, you can very easily flick on this back light and well, you'll be able to see. As you can see, the light bar is installed. It's working. I just tested it with a 12-volt battery. We ran the wires down. We obviously siliconed that up to make sure no water would go in. And then along the roof, just like squeezing it in between the actual canopy and the insulation. Because when we put the carpet on top, it's gonna hide everything and it is gonna look smick. Now those wires ran all the way down and then through, like behind the drawers that we created. So we actually pre-drilled big holes specifically for the wires. So that is working an absolute treat. Next episode, we're gonna fix the dent on the driver's side. We're gonna get the fridge installed, maybe a pantry, and then the 12-volt system. Fingers crossed the solar panel, just depends on what parts I can find. But appreciate you watching. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye.